On October 17, 1814, an enormous beer vat burst at the Muke and Company brewery, unleashing over 323,000 liters of stout into the streets of London. Now that may seem like an odd way to drown, but the strange part is that it wasn't just a bizarre accident. It led to a tragic loss of life. The ordinary explanation? A combination of overfilled barrels and structural failure. But here's where it gets strange. Witnesses reported that some locals treated the flood like a festive event, scooping up pints from the streets. Yet in the midst of this celebration, 8 people perished, swallowed by the very brew they sought to enjoy. Then there's the detail of the brewery itself. The Muke Brewery had a history of accidents. This was not their first crisis. But one detail still refuses to fit. Why was a massive vat allowed to be so full when safety was such a clear concern? As I dig deeper, something eerie comes to light. The brewery was built over what was once a slum housing the impoverished. Stories say that many of the dead were those who had once lived there before being displaced. Perhaps there was a curse on this land? That would explain some of it, but it doesn't clarify why the brewery ignored warnings of structural issues. What was the pressure that led them to risk catastrophe? Here's the contradiction. Even after the flood, there were no significant safety reforms in breweries for years. Was the tragedy simply forgotten? Or was there something more insidious at play? This is where the mystery deepens. What happened that night in 1814 remains shrouded in both tragedy and negligence. But one question lingers. How does a city come to terms with a flood of beer that claimed lives and made a mockery of safety?